Hey everyone, this is Mike, and today I wanted to go over our new 24-man raid. It's been out for a few weeks, I've gone through it a few times, and so I wanted to talk about the content a little bit. There were a fair amount of mechanics in there that had me scratching my head the first time I saw them, even though some of the tells for them were really easy to see, it just went completely over my head. But now that I've figured out, I think most of the stuff that's in there is a fairly relaxing raid. Some mechanics you still have to watch out for, but for the most part nothing too difficult, which I also don't mind. It's still a 24-man raid after all, and I would prefer mechanics that aren't too difficult so that we don't end up wiping on multiple encounters. These raids can already take long as is, and I wouldn't want them to drag on more because groups keep wiping. If I really want to get a challenge, then I'll get that experience from doing Savage raids or Ultimate. So let's then begin with our first encounter, Byregot. Fairly straightforward encounter, not too many mechanics really, but it's a pleasant one because of the hammer phase, I guess I'll call it, where he changes the arena. Maybe it's because I've been playing this game for so long, but every time an arena isn't a simple square or circle, I get kind of excited. While the hammer phase isn't that difficult to figure out, it was fun having to put 2 and 2 together. You gotta see where the AoE is gonna end up, and you also have to figure out how the arena is going to look like after the hammers smash the arena. Put them together and then you can figure out your save spot. The other phase then, where the arena is kinda normal looking I guess, wasn't too interesting in my opinion. Just a simple knockback and some sort of an exaflare mechanic, so nothing that interesting to me. Then we have a mini boss, again nothing too special here, so I'll just move straight along to the second boss, which is Rhalgr. Again, special arena, this one a little bit more special than Byregot's, and it was especially cool because it's the place where the first half of the Stormblood trailer takes place. I always was a bit sad about the fact that we do have Rhalgr's Reach, and we also have the Temple of the Fist that kind of walks next to this statue, but we never actually get to go on the statue like they did in the trailer, and now we actually get to go on there and fight Rhalgr himself. Thought that was really cool. Mechanics themselves were again something that would catch you off guard the first time that you see it, but once you've seen them a few times and you also know which tells to look out for, they aren't too bad, but still a really fun fight regardless. They also made good use of the arena. It wasn't just for show, even though they could have probably done a little bit more with it. I don't mind them being careful when they're first experimenting with it. I know it's not technically the first time that we've had weird arenas with the different levels of elevation, but it did cause some unintended bugs in the coils of Bahamut, and I can imagine that is why they probably stayed clear of making these kinds of arenas following that. But I'm glad to see that they're experimenting with it again, and I would love to see more of it in the future, maybe with some more involved mechanics when it comes down to having to use the arena to resolve them. Following this, we have another mini-boss, this time around 2 lions. It was kind of fun having to pay attention to what both of them were doing, and in what order you then had to do the mechanical dance accordingly, but past week 1, people just burst down one of the ads, and then the mechanics become a little bit too easy, so I thought that was a bit unfortunate. Definitely a lot more fun when both of the ads are alive. And we have our third boss, Azeyma. I guess this is the most normal out of the 4 of them. Arena is back to being a normal circle, and a lot of the mechanics that happen are also inspired by some other stuff that's already in the game. We have the AoEs that are being kicked around, which is similar to what happened in Ifrit and Garuda from E6 Savage. And there's another leg sweep mechanic, and the one where she blows the flames from one side to another was also reminiscent of the Baja dungeon's final encounter. However, they did all suit the theme of the fight, where it's all about fire and her using her fans to blow the flames in different directions, so I didn't really mind it at all, to be honest. Enjoyable fight, although there isn't really anything special compared to the other fights that are in this raid. Then we end up at our final boss, Tal. Probably my favorite fight of the raid in terms of the mechanics, but also the music was great. The rest of the raid also has pretty alright music, but this song is a banger. Now, this fight was very confusing the first time that I saw it, and when I then figured out the tells of the boss, I honestly couldn't believe that I missed them because they were so obvious. I also really like the fact that you have to pay attention till the last second to see if you're getting debated or not. Names of the abilities might spoil this switcheroo, but honestly I haven't paid attention to what the names of the abilities are at all. Just paying attention to what the boss is doing or looking at the arena is enough to know what's going on, and I quite like that. Susano Extreme is another fight like that, where you can pretty much completely run through the fight without almost ever having to pay attention to the cast bar, because the voice lines or the other tells that the boss has is enough to know almost everything that is going on, and the same thing happens with this fight. I also quite like the ad phase. Each ad takes on the appearance of one of your party members, and then afterwards you have to balance the skills. Now, I do believe it's as simple as stand on the opposite side of the arena of where you killed your ad, with a little bit of wiggle room, but still it's a nice addition to the thematic of the boss. Overall, really enjoyed this fight, and this raid as well. Most of the fights have some mechanics that could catch you off guard the first time that you see them, but then once you figure out the mechanics, they aren't all that bad, and they make for a very enjoyable 24-man experience. If anything, I hope that going forward we see some more experimentation with the arenas like they did for Rhalgr and Byregot, and I'm very much so looking forward to the next one, both for the raid as well as for the story, because I'm quite interested to see where the story for this one is going to go. So those are my thoughts on our new 24-man. Let me know what you think of the raid so far and which was your favorite encounter. And with that, I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.